Naruto Lineage Theory. Trash Chapter 1. Naruto Lineage Theory. It's just author, leg god. Introduction. Hokage's son is Hokage. The son of a staff officer is a staff officer. The son of the branch family who died for others is going to become a scapegoat. Tell Neji to change your destiny, and then tell Nagato to believe in destiny because I am the child of destiny. Isn't the reincarnation of the son of the six paths, the finale can only be kicked. After watching Hokage, I was surprised to find that Uzumaki Naruto has not only become the son of destiny and the son of gods from the tail of the crane, but also the most powerful defender of the old feudal system. After Sasuke was teased, he became the person he hated the most, the number 2 Danzo. Doing dirty work 365 days a year, removing enemies, for Konoha, no time to go home. RNM. Money back. Kishimoto returns my youth. I can do it too. This Naruto world of Shirdan, I want to change it. 1. Naruto Lineage Theory. Rubbish. Grunt. Dark underground laboratory. The survival tank was constantly bubbling. A human body is immersed in it, eyes closed. With the trembling of his eyebrows, he seemed to be experiencing some kind of angry dream. The dark breath soon overflowed from him. Click, click. Because of the appearance of these dark breaths, irrepressible cracks began to appear on the glass. Finally, with a bang, the glass of the life support tank burst and the liquid spilled all over the place. Shinon looked at the test subject whose power had exploded in front of him, and the corners of his mouth could not help but curl up. Finally, completed, the body of the new dark chakra technique, my disciple. Snapped. He tore off the breathing mask on his mouth. Mingren opened his eyes. Dark flames burned in the eyes. The handsome and cold face was reflected in the reflection of the glass shards. Did you make it? Mingren glanced at his hands. The originally thin body now became full of muscles. At the same time, there seems to be endless energy flowing in it. Taking a deep breath, the heavy breathing is like a bellows, showing amazing lung capacity. Well, the 3000th trial. It's been 5 years. The experiment of the new technique was successful, and our efforts are not in vain. Shinon looked relieved, staring at the changes in his disciples. It took no more than 10 minutes to change from an ordinary and thin boy to Kong Wu's powerful appearance. But the preparation behind it took several years. The path for ordinary people to aspire to the 6 paths has been opened. From now on, I have the qualifications to throw a fist at the theory of bloodliness. Mingren crushed the metal breathing mask in his hand, and the burst of power in his palm made Shinon raise his eyebrows slightly, obviously very satisfied. Mingren is a time traveler. It has been 5 years since I came to this world. This is the world called Naruto. Previous life. Akito is a Naruto fan and grew up watching Naruto. This work has influenced many Ming people. However, although it has been over for many years, there is still one thing that makes Ming people worry about it. That is the deception of the Naruto work to the readers. This comic. The first comic in the early stage tells the story of a boy with a crane tail and dragging his legs, working hard to become a great ninja. But here comes the second comic. Suddenly the painting style changed. The protagonist Uzumaki Naruto, the unyielding boy who keeps saying to Ninji Hinata that fate can be changed. He has become a supporter of bloodline theory who advocates the theory of bloodlines and convinces the big boss Nagato and others that he is the child of destiny, the child of prophecy, and must believe in fate. The second generation of power. In the later stage, he became the reincarnation of the son of a fairy. The ancestor is the strongest bloodline. Also defeat all kinds of revolutionaries along the way, stop their attempts to change the world, and become the most staunch guardian of the old feudal forces. This made Mingren, who was touched by the first movie, feel that he had been deceived the most. It is obviously a passionate and inspirational story. How did it become a game where the second generation of immortals plays the role of hanging silk and roams the ninja world? Yes. Which strongman in the multiverse is not open? But can you, don't flaunt yourself as a hanger, and use the banner of a hanger. In fact, the father is Hokage, the ancestor is Otsutsuki, and he is even the reincarnation of the son of a god, such a disgusting script? With the monthly salary of 3,000 yuan earned by myself, plus the 3 million yuan given by my father, I bought a Ferrari. He also said that it was his own efforts. This is deception, Chiguogua's deception. Just do it yourself. I also told others, as long as you work as hard as I do and earn a monthly salary of 3,000 yuan, you can also drive a super sports car like me. You can't simply point out that I am a blood theory. Instead of packing it up front, tricking people in, and then slaughtering and feeding in the middle and later stages. RNM, get your money back. With such anger, Mingren felt that his youth was like feeding the dogs. Fortunately though, Akito had the chance for a second life, and his soul traveled to the world of Naruto and became an ordinary civilian. As for the country of birth, it is the country of rain. This country is suffering from a war called the Third Ninja War. Mingren, who was still young at the time, woke up from the battlefield and found that he had time-traveled into the body of a seriously injured child who was fleeing for refuge. Then he was treated by a wandering doctor named Shen Nong. From then on, he followed him to practice medicine, learn medical skills, and heal the wounded and save lives during the war. Of course Mingren knew that studying medicine could not save the people of the land of rain, let alone this ninja world. So when the time was right, he immediately asked Shenong to teach him the skills of ninjas. Maybe other people in this world don't know the true identity of Shenong, but Ming people know it clearly. Shenong is the final boss in Naruto movie animation, Bonds. The leader of the survivors of Kongyin village disguised as a wandering doctor. Let's not mention Shenong's strength. The point is, he found a way for ordinary people to become stronger without blood. Once his invention gets rid of the negative effects, improves and spreads, it will be enough to change the whole world. There is a saying that a farmer with a shotgun can kill a well-armed knight. The dark chakra invented by Shenong is equivalent to the shotgun in the hands of farmers. This kind of energy, as long as the dark chakra technique is implanted in the body, it can absorb the negative emotions of people's hearts, and thus breed power. The method of acquired learning means that everyone can have dark chakra. Do not rely on any bloodline. You can become a strong man, so as to fight the blood theory. For this reason, the Ming people suffered countless hardships, experienced the cruelty of war, and were used to seeing life and death. Whether it was the painstaking practice in acquiring medical skills, or doing 3,000 experiments, all kinds of attempts were worse than death. It is the persistent persistence in the heart of the Ming people who are constantly refining and sharpening. Go through these hardships. The regret in my heart, the Naruto manga, the anger towards deceit, and dissatisfaction with the theory of blood, the more far-reaching. The protagonist Uzumaki Naruto also promised Nagato and Conan that he would bring peace to the land of rain and Hidden Rain Village. As a result, Hidden Rain Village turned into ruins. Dilapidated. From the beginning to the end, this feeding cartoon that declares blood theory is full of all kinds of reactionary feudalism. I started as an ordinary person, worshipped Shenong as my teacher, and was born in the land of rain. It's even more coincidental, my name is also Mingren. This seems to indicate that one day he will have a showdown with Uzumaki Naruto to decide the direction of the world. After all, it is the same as the original work, and nothing has changed in the end. The son of Hokage is Hokage, the son of the staff officer is the staff officer, and the son who died for others died for others. The evil descendants of Uchiha are evil sinners. Or change the face of the ninja world, completely overthrow the old forces, prevent Hyuga Ninji and other tragedies from happening again, and prove that ordinary people can achieve the 6 paths. Try it, your physical stats should be displayed in front of your eyes. Shenong nodded and reminded. He was naturally aware of the anger against blood lineage theory that filled his disciples' hearts. This is also the reason why the master and apprentice get along very well. As an existence that was also disgusted by the bloodline theory of the 5 great powers. Shenong has similar experience as Mingren. This is also what prompted him to invent the dark chakra. Let me see. According to what Master Shenong said, Mingren concentrated his attention in front of his eyes. Soon, a row of values appears. Forbearance, body, fantasy, virtuous, speed, indicators of the human body. Through the dark chakra technique, it appears according to the judgment of people in this world on the level of ninjas, trouble. Mingren frowned slightly, only feeling gaudy. With the injection of will, all the values were merged instantly, and in a blink of an eye, only one indicator was left. Strength, 7. Naruto Lineage Theory. Trash Chapter 2. 2. Power is everything. Forbearance, body, fantasy, virtuous, speed, these indicators represents the ability of a ninja. The addition of all the values is the whiteboard ability, also known as the basic ability. The basic ability determines whether a ninja will be judged as a low-level ninja, a middle-level ninja, a special high-level ninja, a high-level ninja, or even a shadow. On top of this, superimposing various ninjutsu, secret techniques, forbidden techniques, even bloodline abilities, that is, bloodline theory, is the total strength of a ninja. Generally speaking, ninjas without bloodlines all pass the basic ability assessment of the whiteboard to determine their titles such as subnin or zongnin. Those with bloodlines can be superimposed on the previous basis by opening the bloodline link, and enter another set of judging system. It is clear. A ninja with a bloodline has an advantage over a ninja from an ordinary person. After all, he is born with extra cheat sheets. Besides, there is also a kind of ninja, who have formed families of all sizes. They invented some spells. The spells are not recorded on the scrolls, but are only passed on orally, which is very mysterious, just like the ancient master teaching apprentices. This kind of mysterious technique, which is never passed on to the outside world, is called secret technique. Although this kind of ninja family has no obvious bloodlines, through the inheritance of secret techniques, they have also developed a theory of bloodlines in a decent way. Because there are too many phenomena of blood theory in this world, to a shocking degree. Plus the deception I felt from reading comics in my previous life. Ming people's disdain and aversion to the theory of bloodlines has reached a level that has completely penetrated into the bone marrow. How? Shenong asked. Mingren is not the first dark chakra body. Prior to this, Shenong himself had done experiments on himself. It can be said that both the master and the apprentice are the subjects and beneficiaries of the dark chakra. It's just. Mingren's technique has undergone countless adjustments, and has various new abilities. Strength 7. Mingren nodded. Strength 7, roughly equal to the strength of the 26-year-old Hatake Kakashi in the first film. This kind of power can easily subdue two non-blooded Jongren. For example, the two ninja brothers Kirigakure betrayed. Of course, the premise is to hit. What about the other values? Shenong asked again. The technique of dark chakra can accurately display the numerical value of the human body. This criterion is due to the particularity of the energy of chakra. The attributes composed of body energy plus physical energy can be regarded as MP attributes such as the mage's blue bar. Go deeper. Thousands of years ago, the sages of the six paths used chakra as a way for human beings to communicate and connect with each other. It allows people thousands of miles away to understand each other. In other words, it is an ultra-high-level quantum-like communication. Although most of this communication has been lost. It is precisely because of some of its quantum properties. Only then can the technique accurately display the strength of the body at the moment. Other values? Mingren shook his head slightly. Unnecessary. In the world of Naruto, who is still honest in a later stage, so what's the use of being fancy? Just punch it and blow everything up. Power is everything. Shennon wanted to say something else. Suddenly, his ears moved. X2. The master and apprentice turned their heads together, and the body strengthened by the dark chakra technique showed amazing quality. The movements in the distant distance were easily captured. Someone invaded the underground experiment base. Dark passage. A group of people are moving forward quickly. Behind them, they were being hunted down by pursuers. It's time for the ninja war. Many countries in the ninja world have been involved in the flames of war. The Land of Rain is a small country. Moreover, It is located in the central transfer zone of the three superpowers, the land of fire, the land of earth, and the land of wind, so it has naturally become a battlefield for the three great powers to plunder, invade, and wage war. The people of the Rain country are in dire straits, and countless civilians, ordinary people, old and weak women and children died because of the war. Among them, there are also ninjas from the land of Rain, who have been resisting the aggression of outsiders and superpowers. This ninja village is called Rain Hidden Village. The metal forehead guard on their foreheads is engraved with 4 stripes, showing their identities as ninjas of Yuin Village. The land of Rain is surrounded by continuous rain. It rains 365 days a year. So the environment here is extremely humid, with rivers, lakes and puddles everywhere. The special environment also created a special ninja. The ninjas in Yuin Village generally wear raincoats, which are also made of waterproof materials. In order to be able to fight underwater for a long time, many ninjas wear special devices that look like diving respirators or diving masks. Each member of the 4-person team wears this kind of ninja. Now, 3 men and 1 woman kept looking behind them. As the footsteps got closer, they didn't know where the darkness in front of them would lead them. Suddenly, one person stopped in his tracks, and clenched kunai, which looked like a special dagger, in his hand. He turned his head and said to the girl ninjas in the team, "Miss Asuka, I'm here to delay for a while, you take this opportunity to find the exit." The girl ninja he calls Asuka is about 13 or 14 years old and is in her best youth. Fair skin, jet black waterfall hair, and doll-like face all show her beauty. The most striking thing is the pair of eyes. Different from the white eyes of ordinary people. The whites of her eyes were black. In the white of a pair of black eyes, there is a pair of dark red pupils inlaid, and there are 2 black dot pupils in the center of the pupils. This gave her a sense of oppression without anger and prestige, and the temperament of a superior. However, the subordinates looked at her with respect and pity. From here, one can know the particularity of her identity. The special respirator worn on her mouth not only did not damage her beauty, but added a touch of mystery to it. The girl who wore an open visor to protect her forehead and temples on both sides had a flash of unbearable eyes. She knows. This queen, I am afraid it will be a farewell forever. But there is no way. The side that has been fighting fiercely for several days and is in poor condition is not an opponent at all. I'm afraid you can't do it alone, let's stay too. The enemies are those guys from Konoha, Ninja Village where the Golden Flash is. With that said, the other 2 subordinates also stood up. Seeing this scene, she burst into tears on the spot. "Miss Asuka, please don't be sad. You are alive, so we can explain to Lord Hanzo." Seeing Asuka's tears, the 3 subordinates showed bright smiles on their faces. Giving up one's life for righteousness, this is the consciousness of every ninja in Yuin Village. The village head and leader of Yuin Village, and Lord Hanzo's granddaughter are all fighting on the front line. How can these grassroots ninjas shirk it? He took a last look at the 3 subordinates, as if he wanted to imprint their appearance deeply in his pupils. Next second, Asuka turned around and quickly ran towards the unknown depths of darkness. In the air, crystal clear tears flashed. 3. Hataki Kakashi Squad. The clang of metal. The cries and shouts of battle. In an instant, the battle was over. The gap between big and small countries is vividly displayed. It is different from the big ninja villages such as Konoha Village, Sand Hidden Village, and Yen Hidden Village, which have ninja schools and select ninjas in batches. The ninjas in a small ninja village like Yuin Village are all from Nokichi. There is no such facility as a ninja school. Whether it is financial power or national power, it is not as good as Konoha. Naruto Lineage Theory. Trash Chapter 3. So the fight was over in the blink of an eye. Drop 3 corpses. A trace of calmness flashed in the eyes of the 4-member Konoha ninja team, chasing. With a gesture, the 4 set off again. When they passed another corner, they froze for a moment. Because after this corner, there are 3 passages. In which direction did the other party chase? Psychic art. The silver-haired Konoha boy ninja formed a seal, and a white mist rose in an instant, and a small Sharpei appeared on the ground. "Kakashi, what do you want me to do?" the Sharpei asked out of mouth. "Parker, I need to track down the enemy's scent." Hatake Kakashi covered his eyes with his forehead, and his voice was gloomy. "The task this time is to hunt down the granddaughter of Sanjiao Hanzo, the head of Yuin village, and cut off her way of escape. As long as Hanzo's granddaughter Asuka is captured alive. Even kill it. The leader of Yuin village, whose son and daughter-in-law have both died in battle, and the demigod of this era, will also be wiped out of the last ounce of will in his heart. Until then, Sancho Hanzo, who has lost his persistence and is likely to be discouraged, will have to form an alliance with Konoha under the threat of Konoha. It became the alliance buffer zone for Konoha to resist Yenin and Sandin. At that time, the victory of the Third Ninja War will belong to Konoha. The war has been going on for too long. Too many people died. Be it Obito or Rin, they all became victims of the war. Kakashi was tired. If the war can be ended quickly, peace will come again, and there will be no more victims. Ninja Parker sniffed, then frowned humanly. That smell is divided into two parts. He glanced down the dark passage. The middle is excluded. Only left and right are left. Two smells. Is it a shadow clone? Or? Kakashi thought for a while, looking at the three subordinates. "Captain Kakashi, the three of us went after her alone, and you sneaked into a tunnel alone, how about it?" In the team, a player with a pineapple head said. "His name is Nara Luhue, and he is a ninja from the Nara clan. Together with the Akimichi clan and the Yamanaka clan, they are also known as Inoka Butterfly, and they are also one of Konoha's most prestigious ninja families. The Nara family has passed down the secret art of shadows from generation to generation. It is not a theory of blood, but it is better than a theory of blood. They often serve as staff officers, military advisors, and advisors. The squad leader of the Konoha Jonin class is even the head of the young Nara clan. If they were ordinary people, they would naturally not express their opinions on the captain at will. But the Nara family is usually responsible for IQ. Their arrangement has always been the optimal solution. Well, then be careful." Kakashi nodded, and chased into the corridor on the right with Parker. "Get the antidote ready." Glancing at Kakashi's back, Nara Luhue said to the two teammates. "Sanshoyu Hanzo, the reason why it is called Sanshoyu is not a surname. It's because the poison sac was implanted in the body since childhood, thus making the breath poisonous. So did his granddaughter, Asuka. Relying on the high IQ of the Nara family, she has successfully detected that Asuka has the same characteristics before. She may have implanted the poison sac of the salamander fish into her body since she was a child, thus obtaining the characteristics similar to Poison Man. But alas! What she met was Konoha's ninja. Many years ago, during the Second Ninja World War, the Princess Tsunade, known as Sannin, had already prepared an antidote to Sansho toxin. Although Princess Tsunade has been away for many years. But the recipe for the antidote has continued. The three of them held the antidote, nodded, and then entered the dark corridor on the left together. Soon, Asuka stopped in the corridor. Seeing the three people surrounding her, she knew that she couldn't escape. More importantly, the three subordinates have already. Our captain is the hero of the Cannabis Bridge battle that has recently gained fame. Nara Luhue put his left hand in the ninja bag, holding the antidote. His eyes stared straight at this beautiful girl, and there was still a flash of surprise in his eyes. But the ninja's quality and shrewd mind made him immediately abandon distracting thoughts. The so-called ninja is a tool. Only those who can complete the task are called ninjas. Unfinished. Refer to Kakashi's father Konoha White Fang, that is called a dead person. For the task. No matter how good-looking the opponent is or not, he must be captured or killed on the spot. Hatake Kakashi, you heard it. The last year, Kakashi's fame grew by leaps and bounds. Since the Battle of Cannabis Bridge last year. After obtaining the Sharingan of Uchiha Obito, Kakashi copied various ninjutsu, and relied on the ability of Sharingan to complete many dangerous tasks. In addition, it is Konoha Hidden Village, a disciple of Namikaze Minato, a strong candidate for the fourth Hokage. Fame naturally began to spread in the ninja world. Although you are the granddaughter of a demigod, you are not a demigod after all, you have nowhere to escape. Naraluhue said these words. Naturally, he wanted to take down the opponent without injury. It would be best if the other party could obediently surrender. If you can't, you can only kill yourself. The other two team members next to them were also ready for battle, staring nervously at the beautiful and mysterious girl in front of them. Demigod. This title is still very scary. Therefore, in order to be able to complete the task perfectly, Hanzo Senshoyu should not be given the chance to retaliate. You must be 200% energetic. Completely subdue, or kill his granddaughter. Surrender. Nara Luke sighed. Too many people have died in the war, and there's no point in continuing the fight. We won't do anything to you if we catch you. Think about it. If Yuin and Konoha form an alliance, then, the Third Ninja World War will be a win-win victory for Yuin and Konoha. Use a great mind. Shiki Nara tries to persuade Hanzo's granddaughter to avoid unnecessary sacrifices. Also, if you want to use the toxin from the salamander fish, I advise you to avoid it. As he said that, Nara Shikawi drew out his left hand and took out the test tube that he had been wearing in the ninja tool bag. This is the antidote prepared by Princess Tsunade of Konoha, your poison is ineffective for us. He shook and drank the potion in front of the other party. This move, and rhetoric. If it is an ordinary person, it may be persuaded. However, a rainy girl who has experienced the pain of being invaded, her parents killed in battle, and her companions sacrificed, etc. How could it be possible to surrender? Yuin will never surrender. After several days of fierce fighting, the exhausted girl raised her kunai, intending to make a final fight. Naraluhue's eyes darkened. You have lost even the weapon in your hand, still want to fight us? Give you one last chance, Konoha. Wood, leaf. In the dark corridor, there was a low shout suddenly. It's like a question, and it's like the whisper of a ghost! All four of them were shocked. I don't know why, but there was a chill in my heart that didn't come, as if that sentence just now was a big mistake. Next moment, a figure stepped out of the darkness. 4. Prosperity. Who? The three immediately became alert. Is there another ambush here? Soon, Mingren walked up to the two groups of people. Asaka, Naraluhue, and others looked over in unison. An ordinary person, the young ninja with hairless hair in the team asked. He had a clan emblem pattern on his armband, which was noticed by the Ming people. Naruto Lineage Theory. Trash Chapter 4. The end of the ninja war. There has been a shortage of manpower. It is normal to send young children to the battlefield. Even a huge force like Konoha, one of the 5 great ninja villages, has a shortage of troops. So, the team led by Hitaki Kakashi is composed of teenagers ranging from 10 to 14 years old. He looked at Mingren, who was about the same age as the three of them. Naraluhue quickly came to some conclusions through observation. Wearing rough clothes, not Yuin's ninja uniform. From the way he walks, it doesn't look like he has been professionally trained. The 10 fingers and palms don't have the cocoons caused by holding kunai and shuriken all the year round. An ordinary person. After repeated confirmation, Naraluhue was puzzled. This has long been a war zone, why are there still ordinary people? Narashiki also heard about Konoha ninja accidentally killing civilians in the Land of Rain. Many civilians are unwilling to flee their hometowns, so they are easily killed by the highly stressed ninjas, which is also impossible. But the Third Ninja War has been going on for several years. Theoretically, all the civilians here should run away. Are you a civilian from the Land of Rain? This is a matter between ninjas. If you don't want to get injured or die, then leave as soon as possible. Naraluhue waved her hand with a troubled look on her face. He was very aware of the fact that little ghosts were difficult to deal with. The more powerless ordinary people are, the less they understand the horror of ninjas. Only through personal experience of pain will you know that ninjas are not something they can provoke. When they looked at Mingren, Mingren also looked at these people. The three are Konoha's ninjas, so they are obviously Konoha's forehead. Past the leaf mark on the forehead. Ming recognized the affiliation of the three. And the other person they chased. At first glance, it suddenly gives people a sense of surprise. The dark red eyes inlaid in the whites of those black eyes seem to have mysterious magic power, giving people an incomparably deep feeling. Mingren had to admit. The girl in front of him was more beautiful than almost all the girls he had seen in his previous life. Probably, the second dimension is like this. And judging from the patterns carved on her face armor, it is obvious that she is a ninja from Yuin village. That is. For some reason. Konoha's intruders started a chase with the native Yukikure ninja. After a brief understanding of what happened, Mingren looked at the three Konohas. Can Konoha's people invade other countries at will and trample on other countries' territories and lives? Mingren Xiangdang reprimanded loudly, causing Nara Luhue and the three of them to change their complexions. Although the profession of ninja does not pay attention to being famous. But gaining a good reputation is what everyone hopes for. Facing the accusation of this civilian. The young ninja of Sufa Konoha with the family emblem on his sleeve stood up directly. Humph. Ignorant. We Konoha are here to help you Yuin to achieve prosperity. Asuka quietly watched this scene from the side. From the appearance of the other party to the time when the other party mustered up the courage to accuse Konoha of the intruder. In her opinion, it was all a remarkable act. After all, he is just an unarmed commoner of the same age, but still cares about his country. This made her feel moved that Yu Yin's efforts were not in vain. Even if there are some citizens who eat inside and outside, they become traitors. But there are also more ordinary people in the land of rain who bravely shouted to expel the invaders. That's enough. Seeing this, Asuka decided to die happily. The ninja's affairs will be resolved by the ninja. Normal people who just want to live in peace, it's not their fault they don't have power. The fault is the five great powers, the invaders. Just when she was about to speak, Mingren's eyes suddenly ignited with black flames, and the expression on his face disappeared in an instant, becoming extremely terrifying. Exclamation point. Asuka blinked. There was nothing abnormal in the other party's eyes, as if the change of the pitch-black flame that had just ignited was just an illusion. Prosperity. It's the biggest joke in the ninja world. You invaded us, and you dare to say that this is helping us achieve prosperity in the land of rain? Is this how your parents educated you? Mingren's words ignited the other party's anger. Irreverent. Parents are their own negative scales. When the other party heard this, he rushed towards Mingren, wanting to teach this of the land of rain a lesson. Konoha Fluid Technique. Konoha Whirlwind. Having practiced countless times of D-level gymnastics whip legs, there was a strong sound of wind in the air. This blow, even a stone the size of a casserole, would be kicked to pieces. Not to mention a normal human head. If you want to blame, you can only blame him for his unclean mouth. Ugh. Nara Luke sighed and shook her head. Never thought that things would turn out like this. It was too late to stop. After all, this Senju Tetsu is also a ninja of the Senju clan. The body is strong, and he is born with a strong yang attribute. Although the Thousand Hands clan is lonely, their background cannot be underestimated. This kick, on the body of a ninja, will crack the skull on the spot. Even if it is kicked on Chunin, there is a chance that the opponent will be knocked out. Creatures like ninjas will become more and more resistant to blunt attacks as their strength increases. A Kage-level ninja can climb up like a normal person after smashing a dozen towering trees. But ordinary people can't do it. One step down, the head has to bloom. The civilians of the land of rain are really bold and powerless, yet wandering around in the war zone and uttering wild words. Even if I am myself, I can't stop my furious companion. Asuka, dangerous. Just when Naraluhue and his companions shook their heads and sighed, and turned their eyes to Asuka, and Asuka was in a hurry to stop. Mingren took a sudden step, and punched the opponent's left leg. Strength 7.1. Strength 7.2. Along with emotional anger. The dark chakra technique in Mingren's body continues to activate. Ordinary chakra requires a combination of physical energy and spiritual energy to generate. But dark chakra is different. The power of this technique is that it is the power of the heart, as long as there are enough negative thoughts in the heart. Then, the dark chakra will increase, and the physical strength will continue to skyrocket. Hear each other's shameless declarations. This has completely annoyed Mingren. In addition, in the past 5 years, I have traveled through the mountains and rivers of the broken country of rain, and I have seen the accumulation of countless war tragedies. The anger in Mingren's heart instantly turned into a raging flame. I'm going to drive out, you invaders. Seeing this, Qianshouju also sneered, the mantis is like a cart. Senju Tetsu is also a ninja of the Senju clan. As for the Qianshou clan, they are born with a powerful bloodline of Yang Dun, and they will have a particularly strong performance in terms of physical strength. The Ming people had already seen it from the family emblem tattooed on his sleeve before. It is worth mentioning that in countless Naruto fan fiction, the Thousand Hands clan were all been wiped out by fan authors in various ways. But actually, in official settings, such as the official novel, Itachi True Biography, the Senju clan is not only alive and well. After Uchiha Itachi wiped out the Uchiha clan, the Senju clan is still fine. It just became a background board to set off the plot. The Thousand Hands clan has a powerful Yang Dun bloodline, and they are descendants of the sages of the Six Paths. Descendants of Asura 1,000 years ago. It is also one of the manifestations of blood theory. The first Hokage, the god of ninja, Senju Hashirama, is a figure of the Senju clan. People who are familiar with Naruto manga, novels, of course know this. But so what? Can the Thousand Hands clan do whatever they want? Can it invade other countries at will and distort the facts? Naruto Lineage Theory. Trash Chapter 5. Strength 7.3. The moment Mingren punched. The anger in his heart caused the dark chakra in his body to skyrocket to 7.3. This has surpassed the 26-year-old in the first manga, that is, in this world, the power of Kakashi Hatake 12 years later is somewhat close to that of Momochi and Asuma in the first manga to an extent. Then. Click. Punch down. Senju Tetsuya's left leg was broken on the spot. In an instant, he flew upside down, and the situation was reversed. Asaka, Naraluhue, and the rest watched this scene, stunned. 5. The art of physical activity. Same moment. The corridor on the right. I was cheated. Parker looked down at the broken cloak thrown on the ground. Obviously, the other party confuses the tracking of the sense of smell through the clothes containing the smell. If there are ninjas from the Hyuga clan. Kakashi frowned upon hearing that. Of course, it is impossible for the ninjas of the Hyuga clan to be there. In this battle, they, who lost a blind eye not long ago, were like frightened birds. The rectification of the main family and branch families within the Hyuga clan has not yet been understood. Plus the loss of Bai Yen is a huge loss to the village. So during this period of time, the ninjas of the Hyuga clan returned to the village one after another to deal with internal affairs. Go meet Lu Hui and the others. Kakashi waved his hand and turned away. However, just a few steps after he walked out, he was accurately seen by a figure. It was Shinong who was hiding by the side. For him who is proficient in medical skills, it is not difficult to cover up his own smell with drugs. That's Hatake Kakashi, the recently famous Sharingan. In the Battle of Kanabi Bridge last year, two heroes appeared in Konoha. One is Obito Uchiha and the other is Kakashi Hatake. Shinong, who pretends to be a doctor from Yufang, collects information at any time, which is his forte. If Kakashi is a rising star, then the Golden Flash, Namikaze Minato, who fought fires everywhere and turned the tide for Konoha in the Third Ninja World War, and Kakashi's guidance Jonin, is a living young legend. Considering that Golden Flash has fought monsters like Rabbi Riki many times in the past few years, Shinong suddenly thought of retreating. Kakashi is here, will Namikaze Minato be nearby? The Dark Chakra has not been researched to the ultimate. Shinnon didn't want to give up just yet. Hee, you have to tell that persistent disciple of me, it's time to retreat. Shinnon was going to pack up his things and run away immediately. That disciple of mine has probably already handed in hands with Konoha's ninjas. I'm really looking forward to it, the actual combat after he got the dark chakra technique. There was a gleam in Shinnon's eyes. Last war. Kongyin village was overwhelmed and launched a provocation against the 5 major powers, but was wiped out in the end. Of course, this is what the 5 major powers say. After all, the writing of history belongs to the victors, and it is hard to say who is the invader. Because of this, Shinnon's hatred of the country and the family has been lingering in his mind, Exactly 5 years ago, I met a like-minded Mingren. The two hit it off and started the experiment and research on dark chakra together. The two are also partners and friendships to some extent. Although I really want to kill Hatake Kakashi, prove that the blood of Sharingan is just a waste, but, first activate the enchantment, interfere with Hatake Kakashi, delay take a moment. Shinnon restrained his thoughts and immediately dived into the darkness. The corridor on the left. From Senju Tetsuya's attack, to Mingren's counterattack, and then to the former screaming while clutching his broken leg. It was only a few seconds before and after. Senju Tetsuya, who saw his left leg broken by a punch, was so easily blown away by the opponent with a physical punch. The shock in Naraluhue's heart can be imagined. Oops. Misjudgment. This guy is a ninja. Apart from being handsome and a little bit stronger, he looked like an ordinary Yuin boy. He is also a ninja. Could it be, the rain-hidden ninja sent by Sanshoya Hanzo to take care of his granddaughter? Or is it a guard who protects silently in secret? Even Asuka himself doesn't know the existence of the guard. Too late to think about it. Seeing that his companion was injured, Naraluhue made a correct judgment immediately. He hurled a kunai violently. Hiss. Blue smoke rose. Kunai, who turned into an afterimage, actually carried a detonating symbol behind him. This world. The price of a bowl of ramen ranges from 35 to 60 taels. The detonating talisman is a big killer for 20,000 taels apiece. Even Naraluhue, a chunin, doesn't have much in stock, which is also doomed to the lethal power of the detonating talisman. Hit at close range, even if it is a shadow-level ninja, it may be seriously injured or even killed directly. The power is absolutely no less than modern high-explosive grenades. Seeing this, Asuka rushed over without even thinking about it. Since there is no way to prevent the first occurrence. Well, at least the second time you can't just sit and watch. However, when she took a step, Mingren, who was quick-eyed and quick-handed, recognized the thing immediately, detonating talisman. Snapped. Mingren slammed towards the Asuka rushing towards him. The power of 7.3 is not something she can resist. This is the natural power gap between males and females, unless one is a beneficiary of blood theory such as Tsunade. Coupled with several days of fierce fighting, Asuka had already lost most of his chakra and physical strength, so he was naturally unable to resist. The 13-year-old beautiful girl who looked delicate and frail was pushed out directly. Boom! There was a violent explosion. Flames are everywhere. Countless dust fell down the corridor even more. Asuka leaned against the wall, staring blankly at this scene. A person who has never met, unexpectedly saved himself twice, at the expense of himself. The smoke and dust dissipated slowly. Shinnon's figure appeared soon. Relying on his familiarity with the underground base, he naturally came here easily, especially when he heard the sound of an explosion. When he saw the scene in front of him clearly, he blinked. My own disciple was lying on the ground, his skin was torn apart, his flesh was bloody. Explosion plus burns, no matter what, he must be permanently disabled. No. Whether he can save his life is a question. Of course, this is only for ordinary people. Shinnon glanced at Asuka, raised his eyebrows immediately, and showed interest in his eyes. Relying on the habit of often going outside to collect information, as well as his own experience, he recognized that it was the granddaughter of Sanshoya Hanzo. Soon, he figured things out. Konoha hopes that by capturing or killing Hanzo's granddaughter, he will disintegrate the will of Hanzo, who has lost his son and daughter-in-law and is already on the verge of collapse. So as to achieve a deeper purpose. Heroes don't die, they just wither. Hanzo is also human and can feel hopeless and sad. Of course, this kind of thing is fine anyway. Now, the crux of the matter is. It's dead. The three Konoha ninjas Naruto watched this scene, and couldn't help but breathe a sigh of relief. Sure enough, he's an ordinary person, can't even dodge. If it's a ninja, at least he will dodge subconsciously. From here they overturned the previous speculation. This guy is just an ordinary person after all. With such great strength, it is probably a natural supernatural power. There are some very strong people in the ninja world. For example, in Tianji country, there is a clan that is good at sumo wrestling. Although that clan is very plump, it is as powerful as Konoha's Akimichi clan. With one blow, the civilians of the Kingdom of Rain who came out were dealt with. Naruto glanced at Tetsuya Senju's injury. Why are you standing still? Leave me alone. Hurry up and grab her. Xian Shoja roared while hugging his broken leg. At this time, we must not give up the goal. Naruto Lineage Theory. Trash Chapter 6. Just when they were about to do it. In the darkness, Shinon's playful and relaxed voice came, I saw the golden flashing disciple Shilunyan Hitaki Kakashi, I'm afraid Namikaze Minato is also here, hurry up and deal with these people, pack up and run away. Exclamation point. Naruto and the others turned their heads suddenly, the tall figure in the darkness was so blurred that they couldn't see his true face clearly. And, he said, laugh. Chi. Next moment. A medical miracle took place. Lying on the ground, Mingren, who was considered to be dying, began to heal his flesh and blood strangely and quickly. Physical injuries healed with incredible speed. Strength is growing. Muscles become stronger and bones become stronger. After a few seconds, unharmed Mingren stood up, and in his icy eyes, the pitch-black flames began to burn undisguisedly. The art of physical activity. A technique that can only be performed by ninjas who have mastered medical treatment. This unique technique was learned by Shinon and taught to Ming people. People are floating in the ninja world, how can they not be knifed? In order to treat injuries quickly, general medical ninjutsu will definitely not work. Therefore, Shinon managed to obtain physical activity, that is, the art of physical regeneration. The main function of this technique is to artificially and actively control one's own body to carry out cell division through the technique. Human cells divide several times in their lifetime. Strictly speaking, this is a life-shortening technique. However, this situation was reversed with the completion of the Dark Chakra technique. Dark Chakra is the power of the heart, as long as the heart does not die. The power will flow out continuously, even turning into real flesh to fill. With Dark Chakra, combined with physical activity, it will allow the body to go through an infinite positive cycle of destroying, repairing and becoming stronger, destroying, repairing and becoming stronger. In other words, Mingren at this time has become stronger than before. Strength. 7.4. See this scene. Asuka, Naruto and the others froze on the spot again. 6. Dark Will. Strange, monster. See this scenario. The weakest Konoha ninja swallowed. He was also the youngest, only 10 years old. Mingren glanced at him. But he saw deep evil thoughts from him. Dark Chakra is the power of the heart. Be emotionally dominant. After transplanting this technique, the dark side of human beings is directly exposed to the wise. How many innocent people have you killed? Mingren's eyes were burning, and he stared at him with a cold expression. Ah! He suddenly screamed in panic, and threw out several kunai in one go. Facing the flying weapons, Mingren stepped forward and challenged directly. Chi. Kunai hit the body, bursting out a little blood. Mingren didn't care about the injury, and stretched out his strong right hand. Click! He grabbed his neck and twisted it off in an instant. In the blink of an eye, the other party was out of breath. After killing one person with one blow, Mingren was not in a hurry to strike again. Because, visible to the naked eye, a little black breath rose from the corpse in his hand. It is the resentment, unwillingness, and collection of various negative emotions of the deceased before he died. Perhaps in the previous life, it was a superstition. But in this world with souls, chakras, and spiritual energy, it is not uncommon for negative emotions to be quantified. Mingren had a thought. That dark negative emotion was absorbed into his body and turned into nourishment for the dark chakra technique. Next moment. Strength. 7.5. The power of 7 and the power of 7.5 seem to be very different. In fact, the difference is huge. In the original book. In the first part, the 26-year-old Kakashi is the power of 7, able to subdue the two ghost brothers in one blow. And the first Asuma's power is 8, able to kill a string of Odanin village Chunin in one blow, and he appeared handsomely in front of Shikamaru. Mingren, who has become a strength of 7.5, now has the strength to kill a cow with one punch. It's not a problem to solve a few dragon suits. Aikido, who had completed the absorption and became stronger again, casually dropped the corpse in his hand, and looked coldly at Nara Shikako and Senju Tetsuya who was holding the broken leg. Both of them were stunned by the scene before them. Mystery, shadow binding. Nara Luhue's forehead was sweating, and the extended shadow under his feet caught Aikido when he paused. This kind of secret technique. It is the foundation of the Nara family passed down from generation to generation. Now, I caught this surprisingly strong guy with my shadow. But Senju Tetsu was also injured and was unable to move. Although Hanzo's granddaughter is almost exhausted. But depending on the situation, it is not good for one's own side. We can only wait for Captain Kakashi to come over. Are you waiting for Hitaki Kakashi? He can't get through. I used a little trick. Although I can't deal with Namikaze Minato, it's okay to trap his disciple temporarily. Standing in the shadows, Shinong shrugged his shoulders and laughed. It's like a bad taste, and it's like a kind of mourning. Mingren's expression didn't change after hearing Shinong's words. Damn. The next moment, Nara Luhue's body began to tremble. It is clear. The of shadow binding has duration and effectiveness. Duration is still early. He can last a long time. However, the opponent is surprisingly strong, and is slowly increasing his strength, trying to break free. Even the detonating talisman doesn't work. How should we deal with such a monster? I'm afraid, the only possibility is to wait for Captain Kakashi to come and use his powerful Chidori to kill this guy with one blow. So, until then, by all means hold on. Seeing this, Asuka immediately drew out his weapon, wanting to help. But Mingren stopped him with a look. Asuka! Exclamation point. What kind of eyes are those? Asuka thought that the black whites of his eyes paired with red pupils were enough to be enchanting. However, facing those eyes that were burning with pitch-black flames, she couldn't help but feel frightened. The will expressed in the other party's eyes is so firm. Paired with a burning black flame, it's like, the dark will. And like a black hole, sucking people in and devouring them. Glancing at Asuka, he stopped her movement with his eyes. Then, Asuka continued to force silently. Call out. With the movement of a few fingers. A pitch-black hurricane suddenly appeared. This time, it is different from the scene of absorbing negative emotional spiritual energy that others cannot see. When the pitch-black hurricane chakra manifests. For the first time, a sense of powerlessness appeared in Nara Shikako's eyes. Snapped. A slap slapped Nara Luhue in the face. Naruto Lineage Theory. Trash Chapter 7. Dark chakra not only has the power of the heart, but also the regenerative power of medical ninjutsu. It also has certain changes in nature and form. That is to say, routine operations such as releasing skills in the air and sending waves. Ordinary ninjas can release fire escape, water escape, thunder escape and other spells. Aikido who possesses dark chakra can naturally release dark chakra. These chakras turn into attack power. It doesn't need to be too strong, as long as you fan Nara Luhue, you can directly break the shadow binding technique. The black energy turned into a hurricane visible to the naked eye and hit Nara Shikami. Sure enough, Nara Luhue, who almost fell backwards, retracted his shadow in an instant, and the restraint technique was released. Next second, Akito rushed over and punched Nara Luhue in the head. Nara Luhue raised her arm subconsciously, the sweat on her forehead and the expression of fear were clearly discernible. No matter how high the IQ is. When he saw the boy from the land of rain behaving like a monster. Especially when facing that cold facial expression and eyes burning with pitch-black flames, it is impossible to remain calm. Crack. The power of 7.5 hits the soul. Nara Luhue's head hit the wall hard. The body below the neck shook violently like a broken doll. Although covered with the palm. However, the huge penetrating power directly smashed his fingers. Then, Mingren raised his right fist and punched him again. Boom! 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 Every time it was struck, the violent roar echoed in the dark corridor. Nara Luhue finally couldn't bear it, the completely comminuted fracture of the palm and the pain of the cracking of the skull made him scream. See this scene. Qianshouji also turned pale immediately, his lips trembled, and his eyes were no longer fierce. Like a shivering little rabbit, watching the screams of his companions on the ground. Asuka on the side also felt that punch after punch made his heart beat, as if he had been hit by a hammer. Humph, ha hum. Watching the collapse of the rock wall, and the screams of Nara Luhue. Shinong let out a weird snort. There is the exhilaration of revenge, and the frustration of seeing through the ninja world and the reality of the human world. I was even more excited to find out that the disciple was indeed the best candidate to inherit the dark chakra. Wait until Nara Luhue's screams disappear. The dark negative thoughts that only Shinong and Mingren could see gushed out of the corpse again and were sucked into Mingren's body. Strength. 7.7. 7. Forgiving them is the work of the sages of the six paths. Suddenly added 0.2 power. Mingren felt that he had become stronger. The previous trick only added 0.1. This guy from the Nara clan added 0.2. The brains of the Ming people thought about it in a blink of an eye. Dark chakra is the power of the heart. The improvement of spiritual energy not only improves Mingren's strength, speed, chakra level and other indicators. The brain also functions more smoothly. The obscurity and ignorance of the past, like clearing the clouds to see the fog, let the thick clouds begin to dissipate, revealing the sun. Mingren, whose brain became faster, quickly came up with a conclusion. By killing stronger ones, more negative spiritual energy can be obtained. Because obviously the stronger the ninja, the stronger the chakra, and the more stubborn the mental energy, thinking, and will. Therefore, the more strengthening you can get. In addition, if you use cruel means to torture the other party and make the other party suffer, just like the violent rise in power caused by the violent self before, you will get more negative spiritual energy. He walked up to Senju Tetsuya. Shinong urged, time is running out, Kakashi may come over any time. Understood. Mingren just responded coldly. Then, under Senju Tetsuya's frightened gaze, he stretched out his right hand. But, if you dare to kill me, our Thousand Hands clan will never let you go. The cruel words before he died were probably self-deception. But Ming people are very interested in turning it into reality. As long as Senju Tetsuya's death is miserable enough, the Senju clan might be interested in chasing and killing him, the murderer. Thousand-handed clan. The theory of blood lineage? It's just rubbish. As the Ming man spoke, he knocked over the lamp in the hollow of the wall. Under Asuka's shocked eyes. Fire oil poured on Senju Tetsuya's body. With a bang, the flames burst into flames. Tetsuya Senju was set on fire. It's not the scariest. The most frightening thing is, in order to prevent Senju Tetsuya from saving himself, or to use ninjutsu such as unearth to extinguish the fire, maybe to escape. Mingren chose the safest way. He went straight up and hugged Senju Tetsuya who was burning. Ah! Senju Tetsuya's screams were like purgatory on earth. The hot oil also set Ming Ren's body on fire. No matter the other party wants to use Earth Flea, or whatever, Akito who hugs him tightly will move with him. Crazy. You crazy. Senju Tetsu also yelled. The scorching heat of the flames didn't make Mingren have any reaction. In 5 years, 3,000 times of various human experiments, large and small, with oneself, have given Ming people an inhuman endurance. The skin of the two rolled up, and the fat burned. Watching Senju Tetsuya struggling and screaming frantically. Mingren just hugged him tightly, his cold gaze, as before. Seeing this scene, Asuka couldn't help but pursed her lips tightly and took a deep breath. Rao is her well-trained ninja since childhood. I have never seen such a scene. The impact of just 10 minutes is more profound than that of the past 13 years. She never thought that ninjas still have such fighting methods. Because of this, she became even more curious about Ming's identity. Exactly, what has he experienced and who is it that makes his expression so cold? Forgive me, it's my fault. Kill me, kill me. Finally, unable to bear the pain anymore, Senjuja also cried out in pain. The strong strength of the ninja also brings stronger vitality. Exuberant vitality also means that it will not die easily. At this point, pain becomes torture. Forgive. Hear this sentence. Mingren's eyes were even colder. It was like flipping a taboo switch. This reminds Akito of someone forgiving Obito Uchiha. Forgiving you intruders is the work of the sages of the 6 paths, and what I have to do, is to send you to see the sages of the 6 paths. Asuka! Exclamation point. These words, like magic, were deeply imprinted in Asuka's mind, shaking her heart. In fact, with the passage of time, the various concepts that I have adhered to since I was a child have indeed been shaken. Faced with the death of countless people, inevitably there will be doubts. Grandpa Senshoya Hanzo even said, after the war, there is nothing left, only death. Feeling the old age of Grandpa and lack of ambition. Asuka felt the same way more or less. Even my grandfather, who has experienced 3 ninja wars, said so. So, if one day, Grandpa will also lose his fighting spirit. Yuin village, where will it go? Asuka fought in confusion and worry. However, the words of this young man whom she had never met before made her suddenly understand. Yes. Forgiving the intruder is the work of the sages of the 6 paths. Naruto Lineage Theory. Trash Chapter 8. And what we have to do is to send them to meet the sage of the 6 paths. Because we are not qualified to forgive the victims for them. The only thing we can do is avenge the victims. Let the people of Konoha, Sand-in, and Yen-in, the 3 major ninja villages, pay their debts with blood. An eye for an eye, a tooth for a tooth. After a while. In Mingren's arms, Senju Tetsu had also been burned alive. Both of them were still covered in flames. In flames. Mingren stood up. He was burning. The skin and flesh were rolled up, and many places were even burnt, exposing the bones. However, even so, those eyes burning with pitch-black flames are still so firm and bright. Yep, it's kind of weird to say that, but it's really bright. Asuka stared at these eyes, and it was also the first time he stared at a man's eyes for such a long time. Master, let's go. The exposed gums did not damage his temperament. On the contrary, it adds a unique heroic spirit to it. Power. 8. After some attempts, Chien Shoja also died in the most pain and despair, and the negative emotions he absorbed turned into his own nourishment. Let Mingren's strength level come to the category of 8. This power value. I can no longer compete with Asuma and Momochi from the first part. It also means that you can knock down many ordinary Chunin with one punch, and even easily lift a 2.1 meter long steel beheading knife with one hand. Strength is everything. Muscle is philosophy. A Ming who believes in Iron Fist above all else. Feel the turbulent power in the body. I also know that I have the possibility to change this ninja world. Just keep growing. Constantly kill enemies and strengthen your inner spiritual energy. One day, I can beat Naruto and beat Otsutsuki's family. I want to prove that even ordinary people without bloodlines can use wisdom to surpass all kinds of bloodlines. What I want to object to is not cheating, nor the bloodline itself, but the outright bloodline theory. And Chiguoguo's deception. Of course, the most important thing right now is to improve your strength in this war called the Third Ninja World War, and then, fight. Drive the invaders out of the land of rain. 8. Change the world. That. Just when Mingren was about to leave, Asuka stopped him. What else is there? Mingren turned his head and looked at her expressionlessly. The flame gradually died out. Burnt muscle is shed, and new muscle and epidermal tissue grow. Newborn flesh and blood are stronger. While improving strength, it also enhances defense. She is Hanzo's granddaughter, she is 13 years old, her name is Asuka. Shinome said with a smile in the shadows. He was satisfied, really very satisfied. Especially seeing the disciples' ruthless appearance, slaughtering the enemy cleanly. Shinome was even more satisfied. This kind of ruthlessness, as expected of my disciple, the ultimate dark chakra, one day, it should appear on him, but, I can't lag behind myself, in order to prevent the situation from getting out of control, it is better to plan early. Hanzo. Demigod. Sanshoyu Hanzo. From Akito's words, Asuka couldn't hear any specific emotions. I just felt, the air suddenly dropped a few degrees. According to the information, she is just a little girl who has no limit of succession. Just like us, the only special thing is that when she was a child, the poisonous sac of salamander fish was implanted in her body. Salamander fish. It is a special poisonous creature in the country of rain. Implanting its poison sac gives people the ability to use toxins. But also because of the toxicity, he couldn't open his mouth easily, and had to wear a special filter breathing device. So as not to harm others. It can be said that it is a cage of strength and price. In addition, the original Naruto manga, Shippuden. Jiraiya invaded the land of rain and captured 2 extras for interrogation. The trick told Jiraiya that pain killed all of Hanzo's family members, even the children, so. That is. Hanzo has a wife and children. The girl in front of me, if you look carefully at her strange eyes. In the entire land of rain, only Sancho Hanzo has this kind of eyes. Sure enough, it was his granddaughter. Mingren, flying bird, in the environment of the land of rain, the implication of the name is the hope to spread its wings and fly high, or to be free. It is indeed a name that is more in line with the artistic conception. I don't know Ming people's limit to blood successors, that is, Asuka with PTSD and blood theory, and some people don't know the situation. If possible, I hope you can join Yuin village. Such a good hand. It would be a pity if they were left among the people. And more importantly, I will not join Yuin village for the time being. Mingren stared at Asuka with pure admiration in his eyes. After all, no matter how germinated, it is impossible to have any feelings for a 13-year-old beautiful girl. Should be at least 14 years old. Mingren, besides, you don't have to worry, I also won't join, shall. Asuka, exclamation point. Dawn. It is a group of armed forces who wear the helmets of Yuin village and act in the name of Akatsuki. Mingren knew them because of his medical practice before. There was also a reason why Mingren didn't join Akatsuki. Because if Yahiko and his gang feel that Sancho Hanzo is incorrect and wrong, they want to overthrow him and start a revolution. Then stand on your own country. Come upright and do it right. Instead of secretly calling himself Akatsuki. On the one hand, he wears the forehead guard of Yuin village, and under the banner of the ninja of Yuin village, he still doesn't listen to the command of Sanjie Hanzo, the real leader of Yuin village, and even poaches corners everywhere. This behavior is undoubtedly disgusting. But what Asuka was worried about was quite reasonable. After all, many young people in the land of rain have responded to Yahiko's call, and the Akatsuki organization has thus become a force that cannot be ignored in the new generation. Mingren glanced at Asuka, turned around and left. Excuse me, your name? Asuka asked hastily. His name is Tianhe Mingren, 13 years old, the same age as you, ordinary person, no blood, clean family background, both parents died in the war, I like to make ramen, my dream is to be a chef, and the war broke out I switched to practicing medicine, and then found that practicing medicine could not save the people of the land of rain, so I had to learn some ninja skills. Shinnon took a scroll and handed it to Asuka. Inside are the sealed remains of her 3 companions who died before. Shinnon, who was in a good mood, said something, then left with a smile. Tianhe, Mingren. Asuka murmured the name, holding the scroll, followed quickly, and left the spot. After waiting for the outside world, he was separated from Hanzo's granddaughter. Mingren frowned slightly, I don't remember when I had an extra surname. Don't you think this is a little handsome? I think this surname is very suitable for your name, it is also very convenient to attract little girls, packaging. Shinnon rubbed his chin with a dejected smile on his face. And in the future, maybe you, or me, may be useful to Sanshoya Hanzo, or even in Yuin village. It would be good to make friends. This is the habit of Shinnon. He pretends to be a harmless doctor who pretends to be harmless to humans and animals, and he goes around to treat the world and make friends with various people. The hidden empty village has been destroyed. Although there are remnants alive. But it will take at least 20 years to recuperate, before that. He traveled around, researching the dark chakra, and at the same time making friends with various people and getting help. In the theatrical animation, Shinnon even had a deal with Orochimaru. Mingren did not continue to reply to Shinnon. Instead, he raised his arm and looked at the palm of his hand. After clenching the palms, ample power flows through them. Naruto Lineage Theory. Trash Chapter 9. The force with a value of 8, combined with the dark chakra technique and the physical activity technique, has already given him a preliminary self-protection ability. There is no need to be afraid of ordinary opponents. But people know. There are too many masters in this ninja world. If you are not careful, you will really die. Huge power also requires matching control. What are you going to do next? Shinnon asked. Above the surface, the wind and rain are precarious. The gloomy sky in the land of rain, the rain that keeps falling, looks like the country is crying. Practice, adapt to this force, and find a way to continue to become stronger. First expel the 3-party invaders from Yenin, Konoha, and Sandin, then, change this country, and finally change this country. World. Overthrow all bloodline theory. Hanzo eye color problem. In the official manga, black and white, Hanzo's eyes are not of ordinary color. In the official color comic, it is a specific color. The color of Hanzo's eyes in this book is set by the official comics. The magic modification of TV animation is not adopted. Because out of style. Below is the picture. Nagato recalled the color of Hanzo's eyes when Yahiko died. Boots and boots, everyone's support. As the title. Thank you guys for your rewards, blades, monthly tickets, recommendation tickets. You can see the background. Thanks for supporting the new book. 9. Demigod Salamander Hanzo. Chidori. Ka ka ka. There was a sound like birds chirping, accompanied by dazzling electric lights. Kakashi performed the A-level thunder escape ninjutsu invented by himself, and finally broke the barrier set by Shinnon. When he rushed to the depths of the corridor on the left, all he saw were only 3 dead bodies. Kakashi froze for a moment. The forehead covering the single eye has been pulled up, revealing the scar running through the upper and lower eye sockets, as well as the bewitching 3-go jade scarlet eyes. Although the corridor is dark, it can still be seen clearly. Cheng, who was the youngest, had his neck broken by someone, his eyes were wide open, and his face revealed a look of horror. Nara Luhue's body was sitting paralyzed by the wall. There was a big hole in the wall behind him, and blood flowed from it. His own hand bones were shattered and his head was shattered. The worst thing is thousands of hands Tetsuya. He was curled up, burned into a scorched corpse, and the air was still filled with a terrible smell of burnt. See this scene. Kakashi's body trembled uncontrollably. Kakashi. Parker glanced at him, knowing that Kakashi recalled the past again. Obito Uchiha last year, and Rin Nohara's death not long ago. I'm fine. Kakashi panted heavily, bead-sized beads of sweat oozing from his forehead. Then he took out the scroll and skillfully sealed the body with the sealing technique. Seeing the operation of the machine, Parker frowned frequently. Oh. Kakashi's inner problems have become more serious. When will this war end? Half a day later. Wow. The wind and rain are swaying. The rain fell from the sky all over the sky and poured down. The steel city built on the sea is full of punk atmosphere. This is Yuin Village. It is also the home of birds. Accompanied by her companions, she crossed the bridge floating in the sea and stepped straight into the steel ninja village. A chilling atmosphere was brewing in Yuin Village. At the same time, a decadent momentum inevitably appeared. The Third Ninja World War has lasted for a full 5 years since its inception. The 5-year war is enough to drastically reduce the number of ninja establishments in each ninja village. Especially Yuin Village in the Land of Rain, which is located between the 3 major kingdoms. A lot of ninjas died. Attrition happens every day. With the deteriorating conditions of the village and the deaths of sons and daughters-in-law, countless subordinates with familiar faces passed away. The flame in Sanshoya Hanzo's heart was being extinguished bit by bit. A long and fierce battle. Even a big country can't stand it anymore, let alone Yuin. The war, which has reached its end, has fallen into a stalemate. Large-scale battles basically no longer appear. Small and medium-scale exploration and invasion have become the main means in the stock game stage. The action against Hanzo's granddaughter also started from this. Miss Asuka. Seeing that the flying bird had returned safely, a gleam of light appeared on everyone's face. In this dark age, the spotless and beautiful girl has become the comfort in the hearts of many people. Protecting Lord Hanzo's granddaughter is the idea in many people's hearts. Because not only her beauty, her existence also means the future of Yuin Village. She had a poisonous sac implanted in her body since she was a child, and she has already sacrificed part of her human qualifications for the village. In her life, except for fighting, most of the time she couldn't take off the special gas filter respirator, like a cage, tightly clamping her freedom. Her whole life will be dedicated to Yuin Village. Nodding slightly, staring at the familiar faces, Asuka passed through the square and came to the tallest building in the center. Go all the way along the stairs and pass through many levels. Finally, in the office on the top floor, I saw the figure behind the curtain. The curtain was lifted, and the man sitting cross-legged inside revealed his true face. He has a pair of eyes with black whites and scarlet color. Face with visor and special respirator. Platinum blonde hair was thrown back. The middle-aged man who is not angry and proud is older than Konoha's third Hokage Sarutobi Hiruzen. He is a legendary figure who has experienced the age of Senju Hashirama, the of ninjas. He is Sancho Hanzo, known as the demigod, the hero and patron saint of Yugakure, grandfather. Asuka bowed in salute. Then report along the way. Gazing at his granddaughter, a rare tenderness flashed in Hanzo's eyes. After the death of his son and daughter-in-law, his granddaughter became his only sustenance. If something happened to his granddaughter again, he really didn't know what to do. Because since you are a ninja, you have to face the battle of life and death and grow up in it. This is also impossible. The grandson of Senju Hashirama, the of ninjas, Senju Nijuki, all died on the battlefield. His Hanzo's granddaughter, too, was nothing special. The tasks to be performed are also treated the same as the subordinates. He held his breath when he heard that his granddaughter was in danger. When I heard that the 3 subordinates had sacrificed their lives to protect their granddaughter, they couldn't help sighing secretly. So, how did you get out of danger? Hanzo asked. After fighting fiercely for several days, losing weapons and physical strength, and being hunted down by others. How did you escape? Someone who helped me, was a very special person. Asuka seriously told what he had seen and heard. And, he said that, Akatsuki, will not be added. After saying this, Asuka looked up at Grandpa's expression. Naruto Lineage Theory. Trash Chapter 10. Ugh. Sancho Hanzo couldn't help sighing. The Akatsuki organization is an organization formed by a young man named Yahiko. This organization is full of vigor and idealization. Many young people from the Land of Rain are involved. Seeing them growing stronger, Hanzo more or less became a thorn in his heart. Now, seeing an outstanding young man, he refuses to join Akatsuki. It really made him feel emotional. Then, is he willing to join our Yuin village? I invited him, he seems to have some things at hand, and said that we will meet again. Asuka replied. Didn't refuse, but didn't agree right away. Hanzo nodded slightly, secretly remembering this information. What's his name? Mingren, Tianhe Mingren. Asuka uttered this pleasant and seemingly magical name. That handsome face, as well as the firm eyes burning with pitch-black flames, seemed to appear before his eyes again. 10. Autopsy, Konoha High-Level Decision. One day later. In the center of the distant fire country, Hidden Leaf Village. A thunderstorm day. Mortuary with acrid smell. This is not the first time Marino Ibiki has come to this place. Since graduating as a Chunin, participating in the Third Ninja World War, and joining the torture department. Yabixi has dealt with corpses countless times. But seeing the corpse in front of him, he still felt uncomfortable. Cheng, Naraluhue, Senju Tetsuya, the bodies of the three of them were placed horizontally on the table. The surrounding trays are full of various surgical, anatomical and autopsy instruments, as well as traces of use. These victims were brought back by Hatake Kakashi from the Land of Rain. Autopsy. Sometimes it's also the responsibility of the torture department. At the same time, people from Umbu also joined the ranks of today's autopsy. It's cruel enough. Morinoi Hibiki frowned. Kakashi is his classmate, both of them are Konoha ninjas. Marino Ibiki's job title is Special Jonin. At this young age, it is already amazing enough. However, as an old classmate, Kakashi has already obtained the qualification of Hunin early on, and is a true genius. Wipe the blood off the glove. Morinoi Hibiki looked at his colleagues and superiors. The youngest, Cheng, had his neck broken. Judging from his expression, he was killed without any reaction. Naraluhue reacted slightly, raised his arm to cover, but was crushed alive together with the skull and hand bones. The murderer attacked many times and completed the matter relying on huge brute force. Preliminary judgment, the power is even more terrifying than many Hunin. Every ninja has a judge for promotion. When the total value reaches a certain level, you can obtain the corresponding professional title if you pass the test, Ninin, Zongnin, Special Jnin, etc. In terms of comprehensive strength, some people are outstanding in chakra, and some are outstanding in illusion. There are still a small number of people, the strength is outstanding. Judging from the handprints and fist marks left by the other party, the age is about 13 to 14 years old. Marino Ibiki stared at the corpse, talking about his opinion. Colleagues and superiors nodded frequently, obviously very satisfied with Yabixi's professional skills. The murderer is not Hanzo's granddaughter, unless she is born with supernatural powers. If it is a ninja from Yuin village, it is probably the guard or umbu secretly sent by Hanzo. Marino Ibiki deduced. The most terrifying thing is the death of Senju Tetsuya. Marino Ihiki walked to the side, and with his gloved right hand, touched Senju Tetsuya's broken left leg. Qianju Zhe is also a ninja of the Qiansho clan. He is born with powerful Yang Dan, as well as dual attributes of water and earth. In case of danger, even if you can't beat it theoretically, you can use Earth Dan to escape. But his left leg was broken beforehand, and then used fire oil. Wait. Even if the left leg is broken, it shouldn't affect the seal of both hands. Kakashi walked out with a gloomy expression and asked in a low voice. In this sudden mission, he did not bring the team back. Kakashi blamed himself for this. That's right. That's exactly what I'm going to say next. Morinoi Hibiki nodded. He was an expert on dead bodies. Judging from the strangle marks left on the back of the corpse, the other party hugged the deceased tightly with both hands, preventing him from making seals. In the end, Qian Shoja was also burned alive. Hibiki Marino shook his head. Qian Shoja is also very strong, but the opponent's strength is even greater. If it is not a natural divine power, it is very likely to be some kind of magic technique, or even the limit of blood succession. Otherwise, the murderer would not be able to withstand the burning of the flames. Boom! Thunder resounded outside. The rain poured down. The faces of the people were reflected pale. Marino Ibiki was about to continue to say something. There were hurried footsteps outside. Soon, a dead body was brought in. The deceased was a member of the reconnaissance squad. Many Konoha ninjas present knew this companion. He also took part in a military campaign in the Land of Rain. In the reconnaissance class, there are often tasks that one person attends alone. When the body was found, he was already lying in a pool of blood. The whole body of the corpse was broken, and the body was smashed alive by punches. Morinoi Hibiki and Kakashi, they only took a look, and they were completely clear. Judging from the size and shape of the fist print, it is suspected that it was done by the same person, this bastard. Hibiki Marino clenched his fingers. Who is the murderer? The two companions who brought the corpse looked at each other and shook their heads. Humph. Needless to say, in any case, this is beyond the normal means of fighting. The jonin of the Senshu clan present took a step forward with an angry look on his face. This is an obvious act of revenge. These from the Land of Rain. We must make them pay with blood. The excited crowd quickly passed their thoughts to Konoha's senior management. Soon after, the Hokage building in Konoha Center. An emergency meeting was called. Sitting at the top is the third Hokage Hirozura Sarutobi, known as Ninjao, wearing a Naruto hat. Sarutobi Hiruzen, who is in his prime, is at the peak of his strength. His name is even more awe-inspiring. It seems that it is somewhat difficult to capture Hanzo's granddaughter to solve the problem peacefully. The report from Marino Ibiki's side shows. The murderer has outstanding strength and is not afraid of fire. It is very likely that it is some kind of blood successor boundary, that is, the owner of the bloodline. The 5 great ninja villages under the command of the 5 great powers, Konoha, Yenin, Sandin, Yunin, and Wuin, have the most advanced military power. But some Shaonin villages belonging to small countries also have their own unique features. Many ninjas with special secret techniques or bloodlines grew up in those small ninja villages. And Yuin village is the strongest among all the small ninja villages in the ninja world. It is not surprising that there are some ninjas with special blood successor limits. Sanshoya Hanzo, the head of a village in Yuin village, even has the title of demigod. For so many years, after 3 major wars, none of the major ninja villages has gnawed on this hard bone. Instead, they restrained each other and made the situation fall into a quagmire. On the one hand, Yuin village is really tricky. On the other hand, Konoha, Sandin, and Yanin all play similar plots, and they all want to capture Yuin village, but the end result is that no one can please. Because each village does not want the other party to obtain the ownership of Yuin village. This situation. With 10,000 IWA ninjas besieging the 3rd generation of Reikage last year, the result was wiped out and there was a turning point. Yenin village no longer has enough troops to fight for the land of Yuin village. In addition, it also happened last year, in the Battle of Kanabi Bridge, 1,000 Iwanin vainly tried to cross the country of grass and raided Konoha, but the bridge was blown off, the supply line was cut off, and they retreated. It can be said that Yenin has no hope of winning the war. At least, they won't be Konoha's opponents anymore. But Yenin village is also one of the 5 great ninja villages. If Konoha wanted to attack by force, he would still pay a very high price. This is why the high-level leaders of our own side want to win over Hanzo as an ally. As long as Yuin becomes Konoha's barrier against Yenin, Konoha can free up energy and manpower to deal with Shain village, which is also eyeing Yuin village. In addition, the battlefield of the 3rd Ninja World War is not limited to the Land of Rain.